have the knowledge and the capacity to be flexible, which we'll need to be because this will be an unpredictable situation and we'll have to react to it as it unfolds.
In immigration action, Tucson is weighing its options as it prepares for street releases of asylum seekers and migrants, which is now just a couple of weeks away. Tucson's mayor and city council are set to hammer out a plan to deal with thousands of asylum seekers who will most likely be released on the streets of Tucson starting the first day of April.
What?
Federal funding for migrants and when the money runs out for migrant aid.
The city hopes to be able to control the situation without federal financial help. Bud Foster's live at City Hall, and Bud, it's not like the city has no experience with this.
Well, yeah, the city has a lot of experience with this. They've been doing this for the past 5 years. However, they've been doing it on the federal dime, and that's to the tune of $1 million a week. Now, the city of Tucson just doesn't have that kind of money. So next week, they're going to hash out some ideas. But whatever idea they come up with, they're going to have to do it on the cheap.
So the city of Tucson will stand committed to not using taxpayer funds here locally.
There will likely need.
What? Welcome back to What TV. Thank you for tapping in. Hit the subscribe button. It's your boy Ace, and tap in, tap in, tap in. Listen, we are looking at Tucson. Yes, we're going over to Arizona, the place that we've been calling one of the toughest, roughest in the country. Okay, in the United States of America. Yes, that is Arizona, Tucson, specifically. Okay, what they're planning on doing out in Tucson now is crazy. They plan on just dropping people off in the streets, y'all. They're rolling this out. Thousands of migrants, they're just going to be dropped off into the streets. It's not like Chicago where we see the walls are closing in. We see the walls are closing in on Chicago. Migrants should be evicted right now, but they're showing sympathy, okay? Because people need a place to stay. But Tucson, they're not playing that Chicago game, man. They are not playing that Chicago game. They are going to be kicking people out into the streets right off the bus. Thousands of people a day. Now, let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts, because we want to know. What do you think this is going to create in a couple weeks? They're saying they're going to be starting this on the 1st because federal funding is running out and Tucson doesn't have the money. Do you think they're going to come up with the money somehow, or they're going to start making adjustments to their budget like we're seeing all across the country? Because we see in Chicago, they're supposed to be evicting people, but they slow things down because of sympathy. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Let me know your thoughts. Because I'm telling you, Arizona, they're the roughest and toughest.
And anticipated, especially since the operation begins April 1st, which is when temperatures begin to heat up in the desert.
We see a lot of families released by Border Patrol in our community here. So we'll see a lot of small children. Occasionally we even see pregnant women. So we will have to manage through the extreme temperatures as we move into the summer months.
Complicating the issue is the city won't know how many people will be released on any given day. So the city will need to be nimble and flexible.
What? Sometimes they have 800, 400. They don't know how much people is going to be released a day. And we're talking about in Arizona where it's going to get scorching hot. Man, things that make you say what, people?
Changing almost on a daily basis as the numbers and the needs also change.
Sometimes we get that information as short as a couple hours before people are released in the community. So there's really no way for us to forecast how many people will be part of the street release program.
Street releases now have the attention of lawmakers in Washington. However, at this point, there is no bill on the table or any money allocated to handle the issue. It's little more than lip service being offered right now.
Migrant release in our streets is a big issue, and unfortunately it's apparently about to possibly get worse. So I'm very concerned with the street releases that we may see. Now, we're seeing street releases now.
However, that's little comfort to the city of Tucson, Pima County, Santa Cruz, and Cochise counties, which must deal with the coming crisis all on their own without any federal financial help.
What? You heard it for yourself. In Arizona, the federal funding for migrants is about to run out, okay? Is about to run out. And now they have to rely on state and local funding. Churches, y'all. They're relying on churches to take migrants in. How do y'all feel? Let me know your thoughts. Do you feel like they should just continue dropping migrants off into the street? I mean, should they just drop them off by your neighborhood? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. Because Arizona, they're the toughest, man. They're the toughest and the roughest. So I'm pretty sure something's going to be done about this. I'm pretty sure. So let's head over to Chicago, man. Because Chicago, the walls are closing in on the migrants there too. They're supposed to be evicted migrants, but they only started with men. The women or children, you guys are safe. We care. Like nobody else cares. But they starting to evict men, man. Let's just jump into it. And let us know your thoughts.
Weekend, dozens were supposed to be evicted from the city's shelters, but at the end of the day, it was only a few. In the coming days and months, though, that number is expected to grow. Christian Farr tells us what some say these migrants need now to land on their feet when that day finally comes.
Migrants were feeling the pressure after the city announced that thousands would be evicted Sunday.
Creo que el tiempo que nos dieron fue muy corto.
In Spanish, this man said, "I think the time they gave us was very short, something like relatively short. We don't have enough time to be able to resolve this so quickly." But thousands were suddenly reduced to 34. And in the end, the city says only 3 residents left the temporary shelter system due to the city's 60-day shelter policy.
What? So you see Chicago showing sympathy, okay? Only 60 people out of all the men. More were supposed to be evicted, but we only accounted for about 60 people in Chicago. So hop in the comment section. Let me know how y'all feel, because the weather's pretty tough. We do see that the shelters are going down, but is Chicago sticking to their guns? Because we see the walls are closing in on Chicago and Arizona. The walls are closing in, y'all.
There are complications that come with these kinds of challenges, these crises.
During an unrelated event, Governor Pritzker was asked about the evictions. The governor says the measles outbreak at the shelters has been one of many issues that have caused eviction delays.
I know that the mayor is being very careful about how the city goes about making sure that people aren't just leaving shelter carrying measles, perhaps to lots of other people.
Even though 3 migrants were evicted this past week, and that number is expected to grow in the coming months. And what they will do next for housing and work still remains some very big questions to answer.
We're working with newly arrived immigrants and applying for work permits.
Arendia Rendon works for the Resurrection Project, which has been trying to get work permits for migrants, which not everyone qualifies for at this point. Rendon says changes need to be made at the federal level so that migrants headed towards eviction can get jobs and also find permanent housing.
We are calling on the Biden administration to widen up who qualifies for work authorization, but to do it in a way that includes the undocumented population who has been in Illinois, in Chicago, working for decades without any work authorization.
Wow. You hear it there for yourself. She's calling for Biden to pretty much roll out a new DACA. Because if you don't know, DACA was created under President Obama, man. And Joe Biden was his right-hand man, the vice president. So they're calling for Joe Biden to roll out something new for new migrants, okay? We got to get these work papers going so people can work, so they can get out of these shelters, okay? Let us know your thoughts. Should we be granting these working papers faster? Because they are granting asylum seekers working papers, but should it be done faster? Let me know how y'all feel, okay? Hop in the comment section. Let me know how y'all feel. Subscribe. We got some good things coming. We might do a live coming because I'm about to unleash fury, okay? I'm about to do a live, and I'm about to unleash fury on this Haiti situation, because we're going to touch on it like nobody else is going to touch on it, okay? So tap in, tap in, tap in.